I've been making reference to this card specifically over the past couple of weeks because, yeah, I am pretty excited about this card. I don't know necessarily if I'm going to be watching it or not because I've been seeing some really cringy takes from a bunch of people that are down there this week. And you know what? There's been a couple of changes to the card and it's not quite as alluring as the whole idea behind it initially was. It's more or less a statement of intent, okay? Because you got AEW, for me at least, the premier professional wrestling brand in North America, and you've got New Japan Sports, New Japan Professional Wrestling. Let's get the name right. It's more of a sports-oriented product, and they're finally coming together for their first official show, and the card's good, okay? There's a bunch of obvious omissions, okay, and there's a couple of last-minute changes as well, and before recording this, which I don't even know if I'm going to make just have this out in time or not, and if anybody's going to care or not. But again, I have my thoughts and opinions on this card. I'm going to give you my predictions. I'm going to give you how I would book it because there are some interesting things that could be done, not likely to be done or anything like that. But at the same time, this is the first of hopefully many collaborations, okay? Because Tony Khan, owner of AEW, has talked about wanting to make this an annual event, and because it looks like the big Tokyo Dome show on January 4th is Wrestle Kingdom, by the way, for those of you who are not in the know, for New Japan, by the way, is a 2-day event, and you know what? Hey, taking a look at some of the top matchups that they have right now, they're pretty much run through like your standard 304 at this point, so they need some help from AEW. It's weird because we're in the situation right now that New Japan needs AEW more than AEW needs New Japan. When everything was first established, AEW really could have used the help from New Japan, but because Harold May was running NJPW at the time, he was kind of retarded and couldn't really run anything properly, so at least he's out. The new guy's in, who's kind of ruffling the feathers of like Kota Ibushi, who's not on this card, who could really, if he wanted to make his way over to AEW, that would be great. And if you guys could work out the whole situation with CMLL and AAA, that would be fucking aces, because we really should have had Will Ospreay and Andrade, you know, fighting out on this card, or even just, you know, a bunch of other people on it as well, because the fact that the Lucha Brothers can't compete because AAA's, and it's like, we'll get to that when we eventually get to that, but there's a bunch of missed opportunities. But again, if this is going to be a regular occurrence and there's going to be a bunch of co-promoted shows, that's going to be really good, and hopefully this is the first of many. And like I said at the beginning, it's like, it's not that all of an impressive card, but this is the first step along the way, okay? It's just unfortunate right now that AEW and really professional wrestling at large is kind of running into this huge injury crisis at the moment. Like, most of the top guys in both companies, okay, AEW and the Fed, a lot of them are injured right now, or just on limited work schedules. Like, oh yeah, remember when Roman Reigns was taking shots at Brock Lesnar for being a part-time champion? Yeah, how many shows is he on? Yeah, how many pay-per-views is he on? Yeah, no, exactly. Less said about that, the better. But yeah, Tribal Chief, yeah, he's great and all that stuff. Just a little prediction about when he's eventually going to drop the title. WrestleMania 40, so not this year, next year. Gable Steveson. Take that to the fucking bank. Put some long-term money on that. But we're not talking about that right now. I like AEW. I love New Japan, okay? Except for in the past couple of years, it's been hard to watch, mostly because they haven't been running all that many shows. And when AEW was founded, they took quite possibly the biggest attraction from them, okay? Kenny Omega came over, and that poor fucker still hurt. Even though I think he's showing up tonight, okay? I'll give you my prediction on that anyways, but he's hurt, Punk's hurt, okay? Who, again, it's like, I'm not the biggest Punk fan, but I understand his impact on the business, but still, he's coming out to end the show. Let's be completely honest, okay? It's in Chicago. It's in the United Center, for fuck's sakes, where he came back, okay? Back in, what was that, September, something like that? No, end of August, right? Because it's set up for the September show. But anyways, we got 3 shows. We got 3 matches on the pre-show here, okay? These are probably going to be good matches because a lot of the undercard workers for New Japan are really, really, really talented, and given enough time, okay, they're going to turn into something pretty spectacular here. And we got a pretty good mix right here of AEW talent, okay? We got a bunch of undercard workers, and again, there's just a very strange mix, okay? Because if you were a fan of wrestling back when it was popular for a hot second in the late 90s, You're going to recognize one character right there, okay? Billy Gunn, yes, he's still working, and he's still fucking enormous, okay? Because you might not have recognized it at the time, back in the Fed during the Attitude Era, but this dude is fucking huge. And because most professional wrestlers right now, or at least the people who are attracted to it, okay, aren't exactly the biggest people right now, because most, or rather your average person, kind of takes a dump on professional wrestling. Justifiably so, because they kind of made a mockery of themselves. You can kind of thank the Fed for, you know, like the big doldrum there post like 2004, but even still, UFC and that popularity took off. Okay, there's many more opportunities for athletes to go in different directions, but if you have a genuine burning desire for professional wrestling, you're going to pursue that. Unfortunately, you don't have the big roided up dudes anymore. You have more moderately sized guys who are like 6 and change tall. Unless you're talking about the two sons of Billy Gunn, who are now of age to be working, okay? Colton and Austin there in the background. They're pretty decent workers, which is amazing, okay? Like, I always liked Billy Gunn. I thought he was really good. He just lacked any sort of charisma on the mic. But even still, him now coming forward and putting his kids over in their little group, the Gun Club, it's pretty great. They make for a hell of a trio, by the way. And then adding on top of that, Max Caster, who has very hilarious and normally, okay, like I think he even got reprimanded for one of his raps before a match. Like, he's very, very creative. He's pretty decent in the ring, and the Acclaimed is a pretty decent tag team, if only. Anthony Bones could stay healthy for longer than a couple of weeks. Like, that motherfucker is broken down all the time, but it's a good tag team, okay? And this is going to be just a fun, high-paced opener because you got the NJPW, they're young lions, okay, from the LA dojo out there. I think Yuya might be from the Japan dojo, but it really doesn't much matter because they're taking the pin, okay? Because Caster's going to come out, he's going to drop a rap. It'll be funny. It'll elicit some oohs and ahs. They'll do their little scissoring gimmick, okay? And it'll probably go about 5 minutes with, I don't know, Billy Gunn pinning one of the kids over there. It'll be fun. It'll be quick. It'll be inoffensive. Then another match that, it'll be decent, okay? Nobody will give a fuck about it, but it'll be fun, okay? Between Marshall and Aaron Solo of The Factory, which is just basically AEW Job Squad against a guy who could have been in the main event. He was squaring off against Tanahashi there over in on Dominion for the New Japan side of the interim title qualifier, but now he's working second on the pre-show. Okay, cool. A little bit of a step down, but at least you're on the card. And Goto is fucking great, by the way. Okay, and unfortunately, he's kind of saddled with Yoshihashi in a Go Nowhere tag team, which the tag team division in New Japan is fucking dog shit. But even still, okay, just having Goto, okay, every time that you hear an Ushi-Goroshi, whenever you see AJ Styles or Adam Cole do it, came from that guy right there, Hiroki Goto. He's fucking great, and he's just he is the epitome of a gatekeeper, okay? Like, he just sits there in the upper mid card, okay? He just counts the pins for the guys on the way up and then holds back the guys who just aren't quite ready yet, and that's his lot in life. He's not too dissimilar to Tomohiro Ishii, who is unfortunately not on this card. Okay, this is going to be a pretty decisive NJPW win here. The Bishamon's taking it. Like, this should be a pretty good match here. Okay, this is going to main event, I guess, the pre-show, which is, I don't know, weird flex in and of itself. I forget specifically what, I think it's Swerve in Their Glory or Swerve in His Glory. It's terrible. It's really bad, but it was only supposed to be a momentary tag team to begin with, and they've been showing cracks recently on television that they're going to be having some sort of a falling out anyways, but that's what's going to lead to the end of this match here. Okay, there's going to be some miscommunication, but if they were just having a straight matchup here, this would be a fucking banger, sort of, okay, because Yoshinobu Kanemaru, okay, fucking Christ, okay, he was like the ace of Noah's junior heavyweight division for like a really long time. Like, that dude can work when he's motivated, except for the fact that he's not really motivated anymore. But El Desperado's pretty good, so it'll be good. It'll be fine. It's just more or less going to be a storyline matchup than anything else. But Keith Lee's fucking great. Swerve Strickland is one of the best workers, and the Fed was retarded to cut them. And hopefully they can move on to bigger and better things. They're going to have a banger of a set of matches whenever they get around to their big official split, which probably should be tonight. And this matchup here, it got an outdated graphic because Japan is fucking, well, living up to their Pride Month designation. Anyway, so the most compelling person on this card, or in this matchup, sorry, isn't going to be on it, unfortunately, from a New Japan side, at least. Okay, Hiromu Takahashi had a fever and can't travel from Japan, which sucks because Hiromu Takahashi is like top 5 worker in the world. But at least Shingo Takagi is going to be there, and he's going to be teaming with Sting and Darby Allin. So this matchup is going to fuck because it means on the other side, okay, instead of having, I don't know, maybe announcing a replacement because Shingo Takagi and Hiromu Takahashi are a part of Los Ingobernables de Japón, okay? And their leader isn't on this card, so, you know, you could have just announced a replacement or something, and you could have had Tetsuya Naito on the card. That would have been great, but he's not, so what the fuck? Anyways, you still have Shingo Takagi, who fucking rules, by the way, okay? Which hopefully eventually down the line we're going to see him versus Pac because they have Dragon Gate origins, which would be great to see, but it's a tag match. I understand, okay? This is an establishing show. There's a lot of multi-man matches there because there's a lot of guys they want to get on the card to get accustomed to your normie, I guess the casual market for AEW. But the people who turn up for AEW know what New Japan is, know the people that are there. So you're establishing for a group of people that already know the product, but whatever, okay? It's fine. It's nice to see these people show up and they're going to get a huge ovation from the United Center because this crowd is going to be off the fucking chain, okay? And this match is going to be fun, okay? Because every time that Sting has been in a match so far, knock wood on this one, it's been a total fucking banger, okay? A lot of people don't expect anything from a guy who's pushing, 70 at this point. Speaking of which, Ric Flair's going to be having his last match again, at least until he gets bored, okay? Within the next couple of weeks, which, whatever, okay? But you got Sting here still performing at a high level in a match with just some ultra fucking workers. So Hiromu Takahashi, unfortunately, isn't going to be on this card, which is a big suck because he'd be able to work with the Bucks, who are, exactly, they're the best tag team on earth right now. Fuck you, don't care. But they're going to be teaming with ELP and leaving Hikuleo. He's going to be off the card. He's really good for a big man, but he'd definitely be slowing down the pace of this match right now. So Sting will come in for a couple of big spots, okay? He'll come in, clean house, you'd think, because Sting is on the card, and I'm pretty sure Sting is undefeated so far. But there's also another big rivalry running on TV right now between Sting and Darby and RedDragon right now. So they're probably going to come out and they're going to cost them in some form or fashion. And the Bucks just won the tag team titles. Okay, so their side ain't going to be losing right now. And for one night only, they're back in Bullet Club. So that's a big thing, I guess, at this point. What the fuck is Bullet Club anymore? It's kind of just ran its course at this point. But that's what's eventually going to happen. Okay, it doesn't really matter who wins this one. It's just cool that Shingo's going to be in North America and he's going to get a big pop because that guy fucking rules. And then you got this match. A little bit of a caveat on this one. There's an additional stipulation that's going to be on it because I think it's this Wednesday, there's going to be the big War Games match, Blood and Guts, okay? So the stipulation is whatever team wins gets the man advantage. If you don't know how War Games works, it's a big double ring matchup, okay? I think this one's 5-on-5. Actually, it's going to be 6-on-6, right? I think it's 6-on-6, okay? So the way that the match goes, it's old gimmick from back in Jim Crockett WCW days, okay? So you got 2 guys in the ring to begin, and then another person comes in at, I forget exactly how they run it, okay? 5-minute intervals, a new person comes in. And all of the best matches that are there, it's always the heels that end up getting the man advantage because, okay, yeah, you have a fair competition, then the heels come in, beat down the babyface, and then the next one comes in, the babyface runs wild and gets a shine, and then the next one comes in. You know how it works, okay? And then at the end, it's going to be a big old schmoz, there's going to be a lot of blood, and it's going to be a lot of fun, okay? And that runs on TV, and if you're so inclined, go forward and watch it then. But this is for that man advantage, okay? So whatever team wins, whether it's Jericho's side, who's going to be teaming with Minoru Suzuki, which is awesome, and that guy, and another reason why that side's going to be winning, okay, other than the fact that it just makes good booking sense that the heels have the man advantage, and because the other side has Shota Umino, okay, little shooter there, he's taking the L on this one. Sorry, pal. Is because I don't know if Suzuki has won, at least on TV or on a pay-per-view. I don't think he's won a match so far, okay? So, yeah, no. You can't keep beating the legend like that. I don't care if it's fake or not. It's still Suzuki at the end of the day. So he's winning this one. Lot of speculation because that was supposed to be Bryan Danielson, but he's hurt again for, I don't know, it's been 15 minutes, so it makes sense. So he's hurt because of the big matchup that happened at the previous pay-per-view, which was apparently a banger. So he's not retired, so at least that's good. So they'll be able to run back this incredibly technical matchup. The way that I would liken this to, because I was looking forward to this match, because I kind of like that whole sweaty guys rolling around in the ring, no homo. But it's kind of like when Jake Shields and John Fitch, did they ever have a match in UFC? Okay, it was when two highly technical grapplers would get into the cage, get into the octagon and have a match, okay? I was really, interested in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, okay, wrestling techniques back in the day when I was interested in UFC, okay? Like, that would have been this type of match. It would have been incredibly cool. Two guys who were absolute apex level performers when it comes to technical wrestling. Zack Sabre Jr. has been doing it incredibly well in the absence of Bryan Danielson, and Bryan's on the run of his fucking life right now. So that would have been a hell of a matchup, but Bryan's not cleared because it's either AIDS or just a big injury bug that's running through the locker room right now, and nobody's fucking cleared when it comes to the top of AEW. But do the best you can with this card. It's fine, I guess, because it's going to be... I've got four names in mind, okay? This is where we start getting into the how I'd like to book this and the more likely outcome. Here's exactly what's going to be happening, though. Zack Sabre Jr. is taking the fucking L on this one. He's looking at the lights, okay? Which is, oh no... A communist loses. Oh no, must be a day that ends in Y. But, okay, who is the hand-picked replacement from Bryan Danielson? So, theoretically, okay, based on his promo, it's somebody that he knows, somebody that he respects, and somebody that he's promised would be as good of a replacement as he is, okay? So there's four names that are out there. The really long shot is Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda. Okay, that's a big long shot. It would make a goddamn lick of sense, but it would be a huge splash and a huge name, okay? I'd give that like a 2% chance of happening. He's been teasing stuff on Twitter, but then again, Twitter's not real life, and he teases literally everything, so don't put down any money on that one. Be Chris Hero. That'd be pretty cool. Okay, they have a lot of history. Okay, and apparently this new member is going to be a part of Danielson and Moxley and William Regal's group, along with Wheeler Yuta, and he's going to be, whoever the replacement is going to be a part of the Blood and Guts match on Wednesday, so there's that as well. So it's got to be somebody who's going to work a very technical match and then a very bloody match after that. So that would be pretty cool, and considering that the other components and the three other people that are going to be in the Blood and Guts match, okay, is going to be in some form or fashion Santana and Ortiz and Eddie Kingston. And Eddie Kingston and Chris Hero's indie record goes back very, very far, but I haven't heard a goddamn thing about Chris Hero, and that would be an underwhelming surprise because Danielson really played up. This is going to be a huge surprise. It's going to send everybody home happy, so it would be a really outside shot. Very unlikely to happen. Probably even less likely than Wyatt showing up, but still, I'd like to throw that out there just... covering all the bases. And then another idea, okay, this is the one that I would be pushing for. It might not be exactly what everybody's hoping for, okay, because the one that everybody's hoping for is probably most likely to end up happening at the end of the day. But still, Johnny Gargano didn't renew his contract with the Fed, let it expire. Him and his wife had a kid. It would be great because that would also be laying the groundwork of also eventually signing Candice LeRae, who is a great fucking worker in her own right. Having him on the roster, he's a young man. He can go for a very, very, very long time. He'd work a banger of a match with Zack Sabre Jr. He can work a hell of a match. He's already worked a War Games style match, the Fed's version of War Games, okay? So he can continue to do that, and he would be a great asset to that group right there. But it's not quite as big as big of a name as Cesaro, Claudio Castagnoli would be, and that's going to be the likely guy because he also has a history back with Eddie Kingston, which would be very interesting, okay? And everybody's been waiting for him to get a main event push in that Blackpool Combat Club. That's William Regal's group. Has a very, very high pedigree right now, so it's very likely to be Cesaro. I wouldn't be shocked if it was him. I wouldn't be disappointed if it was him. I just think for the long term, Johnny Gargano's probably the play. Doesn't mean that he can't be signed at a later date and brought in, because they're apparently going to Cleveland not that long ago. That's where Gargano's from. I'd imagine he's coming in at some point or another. That's just where I'd bring him in. I think he slots a lot better into the Blackpool Combat Club there, but again, to each their own. It's probably the right time to start bringing in Cesaro. Anyways, this match is set up to die. It's probably the best women's match that AEW could put on. Okay, bar none. The two best workers in that division right now, as it stands. Unless they're going to be announcing some sort of Stardom tie-in to this, or if somehow Sasha Banks got her release and nobody knew about it and they've been keeping that completely under wraps, or there's a big fucking debut at the end of it, or somebody to add to this, there is no reason this match should be on this card, because it's going to be set out there to fucking die, okay? The big allure of this card is New Japan talent against AEW talent. As you can see, that's not there, okay? New Japan doesn't have a women's division, okay? That's what Stardom's for. Okay, New Japan, New Japan's parent company, owns Stardom, so that's why I think that there could be some sort of a link there to try to establish that. That would be the only reason why this would be on there instead of this match right here, because this is a big match, okay? This is going to be a banger of a match. It's just not correctly placed on this card, at least in my opinion. I'm looking forward to the match, okay? Don't get me wrong on this one, but it's going to get put out in a spot in between two highly anticipated match. I don't know if this is supposed to be the match card or anything like that, but if it's going to be after a big a big debut and, theoretically a Will Ospreay match, or, a winner-take-all title match, this is going to be the piss break match. Not because it's deserving of that. In fact, it's completely opposite. This is going to be one of the best matches on a very, very, very good card. It just doesn't belong here. There's no two ways about it. And Thunder Rosa's just getting started in her title run. Okay, if this was a little bit later, it's like this match shouldn't be happening right now, honestly. But again, this is the whole, we need to make sure that everybody's represented. And Toni Storm last Pride Month came out as bisexual. And it's like, well, that's nice, and she's also marrying Juice Robinson, and he's not on this card either because he's hurt or something. I don't fucking know, but still. If this was happening later in Thunder Rosa's title run, you could see a title switch coming, but again, this will probably be 10 to 15 minutes. It'll be an absolute banger, but yeah, this is going to be the piss break. Sorry, ladies. Winner take all, three-way tag. I don't know the rules of this match. I don't know why Roppongi Vice is in there. Mostly because, Jeff Cobb and Great-O-Khan, a part of Will Ospreay's United Empire, came in and fucked up their Ring of Honor tag team title match. Okay, so this is going to be a winner take all IWGP Ring of Honor tag team title match. FTR, one of the best, if not the best tag teams out there in the world right now, okay? They're on I said before, there's a couple of people who are on the run of their lives right now. FTR is definitely in that group right now. They are fucking tremendous. They have been for a long time, and they're finally given enough rope to go ahead and accomplish that, okay? And because knowing the current schedule for New Japan, okay, and knowing that the G1 is going to be happening, their big tournament, okay, to figure out who's going to be headlining Wrestle Kingdom, by the way, the big show in January, okay? If you're unfamiliar with that, okay, just laying it out for everybody. But both of those guys, Jeff Cobb and Great-O-Khan, they're going to be in the G1, okay? And that's very strenuous. That is a high-intensity tournament, okay? And there's a lot of people in that tournament, okay? And they're going to be working high-profile singles matches night after night after night after night. They don't need the tag team titles right now, and nobody gives a fuck about the tag team division, whether it's the heavyweight or the junior heavyweight. Tell me who the junior heavyweight title holders are in New Japan right now. I know who they are, but still, as you can see, they're not on the card either, okay? Taguchi and Master Wato, they're still back in Japan or something like that. I don't know, maybe they tested for a fever or something like that. But the more important thing is, AEW's still going to be running regular programming right now. It makes no sense to be taking the Ring of Honor titles off of FTR, okay? Give them the IWGP belts, okay? Give them some sort of, every active title that's literally out there with the exception of Impact we've held, okay? Just to give them that prestige because they seem to be incredibly happy being in AEW, even though some stupid cornet heads think that they were being booked worse in AEW than they were in WWE. That was a theory that was out there. Could you imagine being that fucking wrong about literally everything? I don't know how the format of this match is going to be. Is it going to be a constant three-way? Is it going to be 2 in at a time with somebody sneaking a tag in order to come in? If it works like that, it doesn't matter. Sorry, Rocky, you're taking the pin. You're eating a big rig, my dude. FTR walks away, both titles. They're adding, moving on to this match is gonna fuck. Unfortunately, Tomohiro Ishii is hurt or sick, something like that. But Clark Connors, he's another one of those young guns that's down there. He's a really fucking good worker, and he has a very, very bright future. He's just kind of overshadowed by literally everybody who's in this match, and they're crowning a new champion, so that just immediately throws out the new guy. So sorry, Clark. It would have been really cool to see an Ishii Miro square off. We can still get that though, but still, okay, I think personally, okay, this is me personally, I think Pac should probably win it because the dude's been here since day one, putting on banger after banger after banger after banger, doing literally everything he can for this company. It's kind of a cliche, but he deserves this championship. He deserves to cement what exactly the All-Atlantic Championship is about. Okay, it's a weird championship, okay, because it's kind of designed like the ladies' title. Okay, it's got 6 flags that are on there, not the theme park, okay, but it has 6 flags. It is the All-Atlantic Championship, okay? It has Canada, US, Mexico, and the UK. Okay, that all kind of makes sense. Pac's from the UK, okay. Malachi Black is from Europe, okay. Miro's from Bulgaria. Clark Connors is a nice guy with great hair. And then, okay, that's only 4 flags, but then it has China and Japan? Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. I guess he just didn't want to come out and say European title. Okay, you could have called it Intercontinental. At least the New Japan, their nicest belt was the Intercontinental title before they just created that fucking abortion that is the current World Heavyweight Championship. Fucking hate that belt, especially because they went on from the nicest belt to literally exist ever onto that winged abomination, but it pays homage to all the previous titles. Well, all of the previous titles sucked in comparison. Fucking eat my ass. But this match, I know I sound like I'm repeating myself. This match is going to fucking rule, okay? Because you have Malachi Black, who isn't going to win, okay? Once AEW comes out with the Trios title, House of Black's winning those Trios titles, by the way, but they're holding off for Kenny Omega to show up for, and run their program with Adam Cole and his boys. But even still, okay, Malachi Black is not winning that. Not because he doesn't deserve it, not because he wouldn't be a great champion. It's just because Miro's winning this one. By the way, Pac deserves it. It wouldn't be surprising or unwarranted if he didn't win. I think he totally deserves it, and he'd be a great champion because they just need to spurn off and get rid of that whole death triangle thing. It's really sweet that him and the Lucha Brothers are working together, and they can go back to that at some point or another, but Lucha Brothers can work and do their own thing. That's totally fine, okay? They need to do an entire program with Andrade and Rush right now. But it really would have been cool to see like a death triangle match, or just somebody with, the 3 most prominent members of Los Ingobernables, Rush, Tetsuya Naito, and Andrade, or formerly La Sombra. That would have been really cool, but AAA are fucking gay, but whatever. Miro's winning this one. This will probably go, 15, 20 minutes, and it's going to fucking rip. And Clark Connors is taking the pin, by the way. But I wouldn't be shocked or wouldn't be surprised if it was Pac either way. But Miro's probably winning. I know. People are big mad at this one because Orange Cassidy's just a comedy worker. Do you know the guy is like really fucking good? Okay, so this match, you can go in with low expectations, but it's going to fucking absolutely rip because I don't like Will Ospreay, but I do respect Will Ospreay and understand that he's one of the best workers in the world, like bar none, okay? He just has some of the most cringe-inducing names for his moves, and he does a lot of flips. No, he's actually like really fucking good at his craft, okay? And so Orange Cassidy, there's going to be a little bit of comedy, but pretty much everybody in New Japan, if you've ever watched the product, they pretty much have their opening sequence same way Orange Cassidy does. He just does it by putting his hands in his pockets and having aviators on and pretending not to care until the match kicks into high gear when Will Ospreay can literally carry a broomstick. It's the old Ric Flair axiom. He could have a broomstick with a 3-star, he could have a 3-star match with a broomstick. Well, Will Ospreay can give himself a Canadian destroyer from a broomstick and be taken off the top turnbuckle and still turn that into fucking 4.5-star classic. The guy is exceptional, and you should be looking forward to this match intensely. You can put away any sort of aspersions that, oh, it's just a gimmick wrestler and you're wasting Will Ospreay's talent, okay? As long as the dude stops dropping himself on his fucking head, he's going to have a long career, and there's going to be a bunch of very high-profile matches for him to have. And this was supposed to be, at least according to Andrade, this was supposed to be Andrade and Will Ospreay, if it wasn't for the backstage politics of Mexican professional wrestling, which I wouldn't really fuck with that, okay? It's kind of like Pride back in the early 2000s, okay? There might be some dark money involved, okay? But that would have been a fucking hell of a match, and I'm sad that we're not going to be able to see that. And any contracted AAA worker who's out there can't work with New Japan because New Japan has a working relationship with CMLL, which is the rival company. It's actually the oldest North American professional wrestling company that's out there right now. Okay, they're just about 100 years old, which is just wild and crazy. Unfortunately, that also describes their main event picture, and because the likes of Roosh, Dragon Lee, okay, and a whole bunch of other guys ended up leaving because the main event picture was kind of running it like the late stages of the NWO, and then they went over and started working with AAA, and AAA is the major competitor of CMLL. They don't like each other, therefore that's where that beef stems from, and that's why you don't see the likes of Pentagon, Rey Fenix. Unfortunately, you don't have that great tag team that's out there, okay, because I would have liked to see them against Shingo and Hiromu. Actually, in a perfect world, I would have liked to see Darby Allin and Hiromu Takahashi, but Eventually we'll get there. And yeah, this is for the IWGP United States Championship, which Will Ospreay just won. And Will Ospreay's not taking a fucking loss to the Orange Cassidy, or you out of your fucking mind. But it's going to be a good match, okay? And speaking of going to be good matches, Kazuchika Okada is unquestionably, at least right now, okay? I'm a big Kenny Omega homer, but still, okay? This match, it's like, oh, you don't get an Okada singles match. No, but you get to have Jay White and Hangman Page, who's turned into a legitimate main eventer, and Adam Cole, who just only has good matches. So, okay, again, like, this is probably going to be the best match on the card. It's going to get a lot of time. It's going to be fucking awesome, and Jay White is going to retain the belt. I don't think he should, okay, because I said I'm going to give you my predictions and what I think, okay, if in a perfect world, what I would be doing if I was booking this stuff, okay, I'd give it to Hangman Page. I would, okay, I'd let him run with it, but then at the same time, okay, the more I think about it, I'd actually, because this is going to be it's a fatal four-way or something, it's a four-way match, right, okay, so it doesn't matter who pins. The winner at the end of the day, the guy who gets his hand raised, is going to walk away with the IWGP World Heavyweight Abomination. I think Adam Cole would be a very compelling story on this one, okay? And the fact is, yes, we're heading into the G1, okay? And you're going to have the big Wrestle Kingdom, okay? 6 months from right now. You don't need anybody holding the belt in New Japan going into the big tournament, because both Jay White and Kazuchika Okada are going to be in the G1, okay? And Okada's probably going to win the G1, okay? Because sky is blue, grass is green, and Okada collects championships. And he just lost it to Jay White, okay? So that's another thing that's in here, which is why the belt's not changing hands. But it would be so interesting because Adam Cole's been also cozying up to Jay White, and having the IWGP Championship on AEW television really sends a strong message that there is a burgeoning relationship between the two big companies setting up for the big show in Japan where Adam Cole can drop it back to the G1 winner. That would be great. I would love that tremendously. It's probably going to be safe booking, okay? But again, in a dream world, I think that it's a much bigger a much bigger, much more compelling story to have the AEW representative, okay, the guy with the built-in storyline right there, carry the belt, and I don't know, maybe at All Out or Full Gear, whatever, at the end of the year, I don't know, drop it to Kenny Omega, and then have Kenny Omega and Jay White headline the Tokyo Dome and do the belt switch there. But you know what, hey, there's so many more interesting things that we could do, but Jay White's going to win the best match on the card. I'm still not disappointed by that. But you might be able to tell that I got a couple of ideas when it comes to booking here. Like Jon Moxley's winning this, because I don't think, outside of one gimmick match, I don't think Moxley has lost a match clean in AEW since he joined on the first night of the first show. So I don't think he's going to be losing to Tanahashi, who is... could very well go down as the best Japanese wrestler of all time. Like, this match is going to absolutely fuck, and it's a better match than if Punk was on the other side, okay? Obviously, it's a better story because it's in Chicago at the United Center with CM Punk versus Hiroshi Tanahashi headlining the first New Japan AEW show, okay? Yes, big story, woohoo, Tony Khan's a big CM Punk mark, we get it, it's wonderful, fantastic, and he's coming out to end the show, square off, because he's going to have his belt. This is for the interim world championship. Great, fantastic. Oh, and by the way, at the end of the IWGP match, I would definitely have whoever wins, okay, square off, have Kenny Omega come back out because he's still injured. He should be healed up at this point, just square off against whoever wins. But I don't know, maybe they just wait for that one, for the big implosion between Adam Cole and RedDragon and Young Bucks eventually when that turn happens. But if Kenny Omega comes out there, that wouldn't look incorrect. But again, that would also play into the fact that maybe Adam Cole should win and then set all that stuff up. But anyways, okay, that's my fantasy booking out of the way, but that definitely, the CM Punk prediction at the end of this match, yeah, no, that's definitely happening. But the boring, most likely prediction is Moxley becomes the first asterisk two-time world champion, beats Tanahashi in like a 35-40 minute main event, okay, because let's be honest, if you've ever watched New Japan, that's how long main event matches go, and Tanahashi, even though he's on the other side of 40, can still definitely go, and this match could very well get to 5 stars. It's gonna be fucking awesome, okay? Because Moxley, since coming back from rehab, is, like many other people, on the run of his life, and he totally deserves to be in this position, okay? As opposed to probably, if CM Punk didn't get injured, probably just in a trios match somewhere down the card, a little longer, a little bit different, but whatever. But me, okay, I think it would be far more interesting, and once again, a far greater show of support if you put the interim championship on Tanahashi. I think that would be a much better play, okay, because even setting all of this stuff up, okay, the first person to coin the term Forbidden Door came from Hiroshi Tanahashi, speaking about his match with Jericho at Wrestle Kingdom 15, I think, 14 or 15, something like that. They had a square off, and Jericho offhanded remark said that, oh yeah, if you beat me, you can come to AEW and have a title match, and Tanahashi in one of the press conferences afterwards said, oh yes, the Forbidden Door has been cracked open, blah, 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 and now we're here. So the guy who coined the term, I would have win, and then take the interim title through the G1, give that profile as well to Japan, show off, hey, take a look at this sweet-looking championship, because it's a beautiful championship, by the way, okay? It's my favorite current championship that's out there right now, and Tanahashi is a fucking legend, so it wouldn't look improper for him to be the first out-of-company representative to be holding their championship, okay? Like, that wouldn't be a step down, okay? And then you also wouldn't be hastily booking your first two-time champion, because that's in essence what you're going to be doing by giving Jon Moxley, okay? That should be a big, okay, accomplishment. A guy who was screwed out of the title by Kenny Omega, he should probably be taking it back from Kenny Omega or somebody in his group, okay? That would be a much better story, but we're in the situation right now, and at the end of the day, he's going to be the one who raises the belt because, oh my god, Punk mentioned him in his I'm injured promo. Oh my god, it would be such a great show offer eventually down the line. Instead of, you know what, playing up the fact that Tanahashi was also talking about wanting to give CM Punk a match at Wrestle Kingdom. That's why I would rather have Tanahashi win, carry the interim belt through the G1, okay, defend it along the way during the road to Wrestle Kingdom, and then have the unifying match in New Japan and have Punk win there. I think that would be a great show of support. I think that'd be much better booking. But again, at the end of the day, this match is totally going to fuck, and it really doesn't much matter because Moxley's most likely going to win. Tanahashi, I would much rather see win, but it's still going to be a fantastic match, okay? I'm really looking forward to this card, and if I get this out in time, that'll be fun. I don't know if anybody's going to care. You can watch the video during the pre-show anyways, because those matches, they're going to be fun and stuff, but there's going to be quite a bit of downtime during the hard sell. So I'm going to edit this up. I'll get it out there. Hopefully you guys see this in time. Enjoy the show. If you want to watch it, you can watch it on, if you got a VPN, you can go through a New Japan World, or if you're in Japan, for whatever reason, I don't think I have any Japanese viewers, but maybe you do. Okay, so if you're in Japan, watch it on New Japan World or on Fight TV or Yarhar Pirate's Life for me. But with all of that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. Why don't you follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.